Hello, everybody. There, they're all coming. Well, hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you guys?
Good. We just got home from work.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there you go. You're back at work. Good.
Yeah.
You know, I decided this is the last class, so I'm already like, oh my God, we got to party a little bit.
Kind of sad.
I know.
I like this
We
class.
love your class.
All right, so let's start with the quiz. So take out a sheet of paper, if you may, and let me make sure I'm also. Can you all see a heart?
Yes.
All right, number one. Give me the name of this vessel. Number two, give me the name of this vessel. Number three, what is this cell called? Number three, that is. Number four, give me the name of this in the, for the test, it has a marble background, is that one. Then we get to number five, brain. Give me a brain. Here's a brain. Number five, please tell me the lobe here behind the ear that's retracted, not the deep one, the one behind the ear. That lobe, please. Number five. Number six, please give me the brain, the small brain that's behind the brain. It sits here, but it's not painted in there, but you can see it right in here, that brain. What is that? Number six, please. Then number, I guess this is probably the best picture here. Number seven. I'd like you to tell me this structure that's between, well, it's on both hemispheres. It's round, it's egg-shaped, and it's where all the sensory impulses go through, or most of them at least. That's number seven. Number eight, please, let me know if I'm too fast, okay? Number eight, please give me the name of this chamber right here in front of the hindbrain here. It's this last chamber for the ventricular system, number eight. Number nine. What is this yellow bulge here called? Number 10. I'd like you to tell me this part of the butterfly structure, the gray matter on the inside of the spinal cord. Number 10. Okay. Number 11 is coming. Number 11. Here it is. Tell me this structure right here on the outside of the eyeball. Number 11. Number 12. Good, that's a bigger thing here. That's big. Let's do that. Number 12. What is the muscle called that comes in here and goes through a pulley and then anchors into tendon? The white tendon anchors into the eyeball. What's that muscle called? That's number 12. Number 13. Over here by the ear stuff. What are some of these round structures called? We have 3 of them sticking out there. What are those round structures called? That's number 13. Then number 14 is coming up right here. What is this structure called? Number 15, we're almost done. 15, what is this line called here? Number 15, what is this line called there? And then we have 16. What is this part here of the intestine called? It's also right here. This part of the intestine, what's that called? Number 16. Number 17. What is, number 17. What is this structure underneath the stomach called? It's right here underneath the stomach. 17. Let's leave it at that. All right, so that's 17 structures. Let's go through them. Number 1 was, what did I say? Number 1 was pulmonary trunk. So that was this. Number 2 was brachycephalic. That was this. And then from there, we went to the basophil. Let me find that basophil thing. And I gotta go here. So the basophil, this is number 4 here, the lymphocyte. And the basophil was right here with the bluish like dots. And that was number 3. And then from there, then we went to the brain, right? Yeah, we went to the brain. And then the brainy is right here. I gotta shift it to, there it is. Okay, and the brain, we did this back here. That was number 6. That was the cerebellum. And then number 5 was the temporal lobe here. Number 5, and then number 7, which is the next one, that's the thalamus. And so the thalamus is a little hard to see here. I put it here. This one here, right there. Or it's also visible right here, or right here. You see that round structure here? Let me show you with the arrow. Right there, all right? So that's that, and then we had, what was that, number what? 7, right? And then number 8, I think now we're back on track. What's number 8?
Is that the choroid plexus?
No, it's the 4th ventricle.
Oh.
The choroid plexus is right here in the back of the lateral ventricles on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fluid goes in between there, where this is in between the thalami on both sides, and then it goes down the cerebral aqueduct, and then it widens again, and they call that the 4th ventricle, and it's right in front of the cerebellum.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. And then where we go after that? We go number 8, right? No, we go number 9. And number 9 is in the cord. Where is my cord? Here's my cord. There's the cord. All right, number 9 is right here. This yellow bulge. What was that?
That's the dorsal root.
Yes, the dorsal root ganglion. You got to know that. And then number 10, I think I got the back here. What was that one? The butterfly thing.
Posterior horn.
Yes, posterior horn. Very good. And then that was good enough. That, and then we went to the eyeball. Give me eyeball. Wait, what was the next? What was the next?
Lacrimal gland, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, lacrimal gland. So that's the tear gland out here. You see the ducts going into the eyeball, and then we went to the muscle, right? And what muscle did I choose? What muscle did I choose?
One that goes into the.
What is it called? Anybody?
I was thinking optic. It's not optic nerve.
No, it's a muscle.
Muscle, yeah.
It was the superior oblique.
Oh.
So I know the picture is not that great. Let me go back here. Wait, I already exited here. So you have in the eyeball, you have, I gotta find a better picture, but you have 4 that come straight onto the eyeball. You got one on top, one on the outside, one on the inside, medial and lateral, and then one on the undersides, inferior. And those are called the recti muscles. So there is a superior rectus, an inferior rectus, a lateral, and the medial rectus. And then you got 2 goofy ones. One is here on the medial side of the eyeball, comes in towards by the nose. See, here's the nose. And then it has a little pulley, and it goes through the pulley and anchors into the eyeball on top. But it anchors sort of in an angle, and so they call that oblique. So that's called a superior oblique. And then you got one on the bottom, and you can see that right here. You see that sliver of muscle coming in like that, right there on the side, around into the eyeball? Or actually, it anchors in here, and then it goes into the eyeball right there where it's white. And that's the inferior oblique. And so,
you know what I did?
Huh?
I'm sorry to interrupt. You can finish.
No, did you have a question?
No, like I'm showing the video. Hold on.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
I'm gonna go to the video. I was gonna show you what I did if I can. I don't know.
Well, let's do that later.
Okay.
If we can. But so those are the 6 eyeball muscles basically that we have to concern ourselves with. Is that okay? A little clearer? Yes, no? Make sure you study those eyeballs. They are definitely on the test. And but let me talk about the test after this. So what's next one?
Is there any way, like, are you going to post this video when class is over? Because I'd like to review it.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to make it a high priority, post all the videos I still have left.
Okay.
But 14, what's 14?
We're in 13?
Oh, wait. 13, what's that?
Ear?
It was the ear, yeah.
No, that was a superior oblique, right? The muscle?
No, it was 12.
Oh, what was 13? I missed up. I didn't write down.
You still haven't said 13.
Did we have a 13?
Yeah.
I forgot. What was 13? Oh, yes. What is it? Can you tell me?
The ear.
Bones.
Yes, which bonesies?
Ossicles.
No, it's the semicircular canals.
Oh.
That's the cochlea?
We're looking at the heart right now.
Oh,
The lung.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have to switch it for you guys and for me. Okay, let me do it again. So here's the eardrum, and then we got the bonesies. That's the ossicles that you were talking about. And then we get into, for the hearing, we get into the cochlea right here. That's the snail-looking thing, and that's where we have that organ that makes us hear with those hairs that bend. And then the upper part here, these channels, have to do with balance. And also right in here, it also has to do with balance. And those are hairs that bend when the fluid on the inside doesn't move quite as fast as the fluid, as the space on the outside. Fluid is slower than air, so it lags always a little behind. And so these three channels here, these are called the semicircular canals. So I need you to make sure you know those. So cochlea is important there, semicircular canal is important there. And I think that's pretty good. Yes, for that. All right, so now that's 13. Now we get to 14. Now we get to the lungs, right?
Yes.
All right, good, good. So let me switch it for you guys here and for me here. What's that structure called here?
The trachea.
All right, the trachea. And then down in here, we got the
Oblique fissure.
oblique fissure, super. And then after that, we're gonna go to the gut. And I pointed to the thing coming up here. Oops. This piece here, what's that called?
Large intestine.
Which part of it?
Professor.
Ascending, I hear ascending. It's ascending colon. Perfect. So we have the ascending colon, transverse, and descending colon. And I think
What was number 16? Sorry.
number 16 is ascending colon. And then number 17, I pointed to this structure underneath the stomach, right in here, and that is the
Pancreas.
pancreas. Very good. All right, so
I have a question.
yes, please.
So number 15, you said it was the oblique. I thought it was the horizontal fissure. Fissure, however you say it.
Oh, it was the oblique. Hold on. The horizontal.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at that
This is
one.
the
Okay.
horizontal. This is the oblique.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were pointing at that one. My bad.
Okay, okay, but then we're clear which one is which.
Yeah.
That's okay then. That will be all right on the test. Otherwise, you better shoot me a text. All right, but then what was that? Did you say the pancreas?
Yes.
All right, good. So that was number 63. Then there is one structure that I need you to add to the list that I sillily forgot, and that's the green structure.
Gallbladder.
Gallbladder. I need you to put that on your list. I changed it in the term lists that are still online, but if you already printed it out or downloaded it, you have that one missing.
Professor,
Mhm.
Professor, can you show me once you're right there? Can you show me the small intestine?
Yeah, this is the small intestine.
The big one, kind of.
That's the
Where?
large intestine.
Oh, I don't see any errors.
Oh, wait, what are you seeing? Where am I at?
It's
You're showing the stomach.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Up there. Yeah.
So see, that's partly why I have another picture right in here. Because this is the large intestine, the colon.
okay.
All right, and the small intestine lies inside of it. So the small intestine is all that yellower stuff.
All right.
That's
Got
the
it.
small intestine. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Well, I have a question. It's
Yes.
about the kidneys.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one, some of the terms that I couldn't really tell by the picture that you sent, like the, let me see, the glomerulus. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. Do you see the kidney right now?
Yeah. So let me show you. I don't know if you can see it on my screen. I had to pretty much download.
That's cool. That's cool.
Is that okay? Because it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
kind
that's
of
cool.
hard to.
So let's go through those terms though quickly, if you don't mind. Since
Okay.
I got the kidney up here, can we do that all together real quick? Because that is a couple of test questions on that, and I do want to make sure I just point those out because the videos are pretty much one of those kind of things that shows these little dots, and these little dots here are the glomerulus, glomeruli. These little dots is. That's the glomerulus. And then we have the renal pyramids on the list. And the renal pyramids are these these red structures here, these upside down shaped pyramids. They're actually three-dimensional if we take them out. You can sort of see it a little bit here. No, you can't. And so that's the pyramid. And then as it comes down here into this part of the kidney, that's called the renal pelvis. And what else do we have on that list? Do we have calyces? I think so, right? The funnels. I gotta look it up real quick too. Hold on. Calyces, is that on there?
I don't think so. I don't see
No,
it.
I did not. I did not. So that's
No,
good.
it's not on there.
No, that's good. That's too complicated of a word. But then what I do have on here are proximal convoluted tubules, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubules. And so if you, this is not the best picture. No, you can see it here. You see here's a glomerulus. And here, here is a little white tube that comes out. That's called the proximal convoluted tubule. And then it goes down deep into the renal pyramid and back up. And as long as it is in the renal pyramid, it calls that the loop of Henle. And then when it comes back up out into the outer part, the cortex, then it's called the distal convoluted tubule, even though this is pretty straight, but very often it's very wiggly. And then after that, it goes into one duct that goes all the way down into the renal pelvis. And that is known as the collecting duct. So the one that comes back up here, that's the loop of Henle, and the one that goes down but doesn't come back up and has different tributaries, that's the collecting duct. And then the last term there is the vasa recta. And this is the, yeah, the picture's not that great. Huh? I thought it was a good picture because it's like the one in the model, but I got to find a better picture. Anyway, the vasa recta, you see these red things that go down and up, these tubules or the blue ones here. These are blood vessels or little capillary vessels. And that collectively is called the vasa recta. And if you look in a real kidney, that structure is actually hanging out around here, around the loop of Henle. And what happens is a lot of the filtrates goes out of the comes out of the loop of Henle and goes right back into the bloodstream. So we don't pee out as much as, you know, the kidney make a lot of filtrates and we only pee out a little bit of all of that. And so we need all these mechanisms that bring that liquid back into the bloodstream. So those are all the terms that I have. What else is there? The ureter, I think. Did I miss that? Renal, no, there is renal calyces. See that? The list. You have the list? I do have renal calyces on there, and the calyces are these funnels. So this whole area is called the renal pelvis, and then the individual funnels are called renal calyces. And the final will be multiple choice, so you don't have to worry about the spelling of that. I will tell you that in a minute. And then the ureter is basically what goes from the kidney out into the bladder before you then pee it out. And then from the bladder to the, and we don't have a bladder on here, we don't have it on the list, but then from the bladder to the outside world, then that's the urethra, not the ureter. So ureter is the first section, then we get the bladder, and then it's the urethra. Is that good? So let's go right to it. And if you have a question, you stop me and we will look at the slides, okay? The urinary system consists largely of your kidneys. They make your pee. They filter out blood and get rid of water and substances the body can't use or are toxic to it. This is actually one reason of why you want to drink plenty of water. It makes it easier for them to filter your blood and keeps it clean. Can you choose vital functions of the kidneys?
Jessica, maintain, regulate, eliminate, and extract oxygen. Oh, no.
No.
Control blood forming hormones.
Very good, very good. And that's Jessica, right?
Yeah.
Good, very good. Number 2, we have 2 kidneys that are seated on either side of the spine in your low back. Say hi to them and thank them for all their work. They're hardly complain, so they tend to do we tend to take their effort granted. The kidneys are not as well protected as other organs. To help with that, they are enclosed in an adipose fat tissue layer. A gland sits on top of each kidney. What is that gland called?
Adrenal gland.
Adrenal gland. Very good. That's Marcella?
Marcella, yeah.
I'm starting to learn your names by voice. Number 3, each kidney consists of millions of small little filtering systems in which a blood vessel feeds blood past the membrane that filters most small stuff. All of that filtrate then flows through a wiggly tube that ultimately feeds into the bladder. And you know what happens then? We pee. And well, she's now older. She doesn't say that anymore. Our kidneys make about 170 liters of pee or a filtrate a day, and we sure don't pee that much. We avoid about 1.5 liters or 1.5 quarts, you can kind of think. Most of the filtrate has to then be reabsorbed into the blood vessels that run parallel to the tube, those tubules. Additionally, some substances we want to get rid of are still in the blood, like medications, for example. They need to be actively extracted from the blood into the tube that ultimately drains into the toilet bowl. Can you tell me what this process is called, this last one?
Filtration?
Nope.
I couldn't get that one.
Couldn't get that one. Let's
It's
go.
very like 4 different words.
Yeah, I know. This is the one that's one that's a little bit tougher on this.
It's is it secretion?
Yes. Can you see this picture? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so filtration is when the blood goes through the glomerulus and squeezes all that stuff out that we then call filtrate. So that's filtration. And then in the proximal convoluted, in that whole tube, basically, we reabsorb. So the reabsorption is from the perspective of the blood vessel. So it goes back into the blood. So it comes out of the filtrate, goes back into the blood. That's mostly passive processes. We use salt to help with that, to pull the water out and that kind of stuff. And then, though, we have some substances that did not make it into the filtrate, like medications or so. They stay behind in the blood, but we want to get rid of them. And so what we do with those, we secrete them from the blood into the kidney tubules. And so that's where the word secretion then comes in. That was the correct answer. And then excretion is when we just pee it out. That's basically the peeing it out. Is that all right? Easier?
Yes.
So secretion is number 5.
Huh?
So secretion is number 5.
Number 3.
Wait, number 3.
Oh, okay.
Got it? Good.
Yeah.
Number 4, slicing a kidney lengthwise and taking it apart is actually quite interesting. Unfortunately, this time we couldn't do that part. A kidney has an outer part, which is where all the capillaries feed past the membranes of the filtering system. It accomplishes that in a round-looking corpuscle. I'll tell you more about it in a couple of questions. From the corpuscle, the tube filled with filtrate arises and wiggles around a little before it descends, and then comes back up into the inner, and descends into the inner portion of the kidney. This inner part is filled with upside down looking pyramid structures that are separated from one another by a membrane. Can you please name the outer and the inner regions of the kidney?
The inner region is the medulla and the outer region is the cortex.
Perfect. Medulla is inner, cortex is outer. A lot of times we have organs, we name those two that way. So that's, oh wait, I gotta put it in. Otherwise I'm not gonna get the credit. Good, number 5, going back to the filtration, creating corpuscle, capillaries in them have cell extensions cling onto them very tightly, leaving only narrow spaces between them that let stuff through. That way, the capillaries, which generally are very leaky, let most but not all substances through, and voila, we have filtrate. Can you tell me the names of the cells that cling to the capillaries?
Podocytes?
Podocytes. Very good. Pod means foot. Number 6, as soon as the filtrate enters the kidney tubules, water gets reabsorbed out of them and put back into the blood vessels traveling parallel. What actually happens is that sodium, potassium pumps actively remove the sodium from the tubules and water automatically follows. You can see how that works putting a salt on a sliced tomato. Can you please tell me which 2 sections of the kidney tubules reabsorb most water? Choose both.
Loop of Henley, whatever. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yep, and
The proximal.
Proximal, yes. As soon as you make the filtrate, you want to get rid of it again. That's how I remember it. Because it's basically a filtering system, right? You want to just leave behind what you want to pee out. All the water need to go back into the blood, or most of it. All right. There are two hormones that further influence how much water moves from the kidney tubules back into the bloodstream. Choose both of them.
The angiotensin. Oh, it's not on there.
Yep.
ADH and the aldosterone.
Yes, which is also together has the angiotensin situation there. Do you guys get those two hormones? Or should we look briefly at those? Oh, see, this is a good pic. Can you see this? This is a good picture of how the loop of Henle comes down and then the vasa recta hangs around is right parallel to it. I like that graphic. Okay, where was I? Hormones. Filtrate, urinary. I can't even see the hormone stuff. Well, basically, the thing that I'm interested in the aldosterone is aldosterone reabsorbs salt and water follows, and ADH directly goes and works in the kidney aquaporins and pulls the water out directly. So that's the ways that I remember those two. Is that clear enough for you guys?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good. That was harder for me to get, huh? And look at that. Number 8. Leaving each kidney is a ureter that guides the urine into the bladder and enters from the backside. The bladder stores urine when it is time to go pee. The urine leaves it through a urethra at the bottom. The bladder is stretchy muscular organ. What is the area between the two urethric orifice and the urethra called? Orifice.
The trigon.
The trigon. Perfect. Good. And look at that. That's already it. Any questions? I guess I got tired after all the chapters before that and I couldn't make more questions. Any questions to this material? Well, thank you so much for this wonderful semester. It was really weird.
Thank you, Professor. We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.